Hi there, I'm Thom Helmick. It's Thursday, April 24th. This morning, I was in the book of Job, chapters 3 through 6. Job, chapters 3 through 6. And the verse I wanted to share on was chapter 3, verse 11. Job here, he's had his whole life tore apart. He's had family members destroyed. He's just had tons of stuff done to him. He's sick. He's covered with boils. He's in much pain. His friends have come, and we talked about yesterday how they sat with him for 7 days. And then Job begins to speak. He begins to share his heart after those 7 days. He just sat there and thought and thought and thought. And then he begins to complain. But at the same time, he's just sharing his heart. He's saying things that are just coming to his mind because he's in so much pain. He's had so much loss. And in verse 11, he says, "Why did I not die at birth and come out from my mother's womb and expire?" He's saying, why am I even alive? If this is my life, if everything's going to be taken from me, if I'm going to be sick, if those that I care for the most die, are destroyed, then why am I here? Why did I not die at birth? And why did I just not come out my mother's womb and die right then? Why was I given any sort of life? That's the question he has. My guess is that many people have that question. It's like, why am I here? Now, Job wasn't just asking, well, why am I here, God? What's my purpose? That's not what he was saying. That's sort of a normal thing to wonder. For non-believers, why am I here? What is this life all about? For believers who have found Jesus, Lord, why am I here? What's the purpose in my life? But for Job, even though he was a believer, he was in deep, deep pain. And he just thought, God, is this my life? Why did I not die before I was ever born? I don't really know the answer to that. Because Job wasn't somebody that I knew. But I do know this, that God gives men and women birth. He brings us into the world because we are made in his image. And so is Job. And he has good plans for us. The Bible tells us that. Doesn't mean there'll be no pain. Doesn't mean there won't be any loss. Doesn't mean we don't live on this planet where there's lots of confusion, lots of anger, lots of hatred from one group of people to another, from one person to another. Lots and lots of things that happen in people's lives that just is overwhelming. But I believe with all my heart, the Bible teaches the reason Job was born, the reason you were born, the reason I was born, is to have a relationship with the one who gave us breath, to walk with him, to be friends with him, to share our hearts with him, and receive his heart as he shares his heart with us. No matter what happens, no matter what we go through, I believe with all my heart, the reason we're here is to know the Creator of all things, to experience him, to be loved and to love him back, to be forgiven for the things we've done wrong, for the sins we've had, and to walk with him. Eventually, Job learns that. Eventually, I'm sure Job, if he could ever possibly think back on all the things he says, because there was a lot of, he probably felt foolish. But eventually God comes and shows up. Tells Job basically, hey, pull up your pants, tighten your belt. You got some questions? Well, I'm going to ask questions. And God begins to show Job who man is and who he is. And he shows Job how incredible God is, and how powerful God is, and how righteous and holy God is. And yet, he wants to have a relationship with human beings, with Job, with you, with me. I would say that's the answer to Job's question. The reason I didn't let you die before you came out, the reason you were born, Job, is because I hunger and want to know you and to experience you and to have friendship with you. It's mind-blowing that God would think that way. That God would forgive men and women for all the sin we've done. That he would go to the cross that he might have a friendship with us. That's my prayer. And so we will walk with him as a friend. We will speak with him as a friend. We will listen to him as a friend. Of course, he's always Lord. He is the master. But he is our friend. Thanks for listening to me today.